Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today, we are going to be talking about the Celsius situation. I am recording this a little bit ahead of time, so prices are most likely going to change. And we'll probably see a little bit more news come out, but I'm going to try to upload this as fast as possible. But guys, we have been seeing some major updates around this market from Luna to UST to even now Celsius. Celsius is down 50, almost 3% in the last 24 hours. We've seen this come from $8 back in roughly June of 2021 to now being worth 18 cents. Now, this didn't happen all at once. It was a massive downtrend since June. I did see a few people buying here and there on Celsius, but honestly, it's just been a massive downtrend. And I never really invested into Celsius, never really talked about it on this channel up until now, because we have been seeing some really alarming things coming out around Celsius. I talked to you guys a little bit about Luna, just actually updated you guys a little bit on Luna. And the reason why I talked to you guys about Luna and bring it up in this video is, well, Celsius seems like, and I'm not going to say that, it's for certain, but it looks like Celsius has rug pulled all of its customers. Let's jump in and let's talk about this. So, first off, here is a little bit of a tweet direction from the CEO responding to a few tweets talking about Celsius. So this goes back to June 11th, 2 days ago. I'm saddened by how many people are cheering on the demise of Celsius Network. I, along with many others, counseled people to not put their funds with that risky business. However, many did, and a large number of retail folks look like they are soon to be wrecked. We all lose. These events are important to a properly functioning market, which might be why some people are cheering. The alternative is a Luna situation. We do see here, I hope retail can get out. I've been hearing about accounts locked. That would be similar to Luna. We shall see. And we actually do see here from the CEO, Mike, do you know even one person who has a problem withdrawing from Celsius? Why spread FUD and misinformation? If you are paid for this, then let everyone know you are picking sides. Otherwise, our job is to fight traditional finance together. And of course, a lot of people were responding to this. And it's interesting, right? Because now we finally get a response actually from Celsius, sending this email to its users saying they're immediately halting all withdrawals, swaps, and transfers between accounts. Exactly what the CEO said is not happening. This is interesting. And I'm actually going to open this up in a new tab just so that you guys could also read it. I know that it's probably a little bit small. I do apologize. But we do say, we are writing with a very important message for our community due to extreme market conditions. Oh, I love when they utilize that excuse. Today, we are announcing that Celsius is pausing all withdrawals, swaps, and transfers between accounts. Now, why are they doing this? Well, first off, in my opinion, it's most likely a liquidity crisis at Celsius. I don't believe that they have the liquidity to cover the withdrawals, swaps, and transfers. But this is basically leading to a rug pull of its customers as they cannot get their assets out. There's not enough liquidity. We do say here, we are taking this action today to put Celsius in a better position to honor over time its withdrawal obligations. Acting in the interest of our community, I don't think that that is the way to do this, but is our top priority. In service of the commitment and to adhere to our risk management framework, we have activated a clause in our terms of use that will allow for this process to take place. Celsius has valuable assets, and we are working diligently to meet our obligations. We are taking this necessary action to the benefit of our entire community in order to stabilize liquidity and operations while we take steps to preserve and protect assets. So it is a problem around liquidity. So I was taking a guess on that, to be completely honest with you guys, but it seems like it is a liquidity crisis happening. Furthermore, customers will continue to accrue rewards during this, pause in the line with our commitment to our customers. We understand that this news is difficult, but we believe that our decision to pause withdrawals, swaps, and transfers between accounts is the most responsible action we can take to protect our community. We are working with a singular focus to protect and preserve assets to meet our obligations to customers. I just want to pause real quick and say that whenever a company or whenever an individual is saying, "Hey, we're doing everything in the best, interest of our, community," we're going to, make sure that everyone who is a part of this, in terms of our, valuable, customers, we're going to make sure that everybody, is continuing, to focus on the mission with us. And, we're going to keep up with the rewards, et cetera, et cetera. We always hear false promises like this right before things get a lot worse. We heard this happen with, Luna as well. We said, we're preserving capital. We're about to, put more money in to, back the stablecoin. And guess what ended up happening? A massive crash. I mean, in my opinion, like when we look at this, I don't believe that this is going to end well. We do see our ultimate objective is stabilizing liquidity and restoring withdrawal swaps and transfers between accounts as quickly as possible. There is a lot of work ahead as we consider various options. This process will take time and there may be delays. We thank the incredible Celsius community, for your support today. It is our pleasure to serve you. Our operations continue and we will continue to share information with the community as it becomes available. Now, a little bit after this, email was actually sent out, we've seen major updates around this. First off, not only did we see Celsius down 50% since announcing that they're pausing withdrawals, looking like Luna 2.0, we also seen a few other, major outlets talking about this. Celsius is definitely starting to feel the heat as staking and lending platform has been sending millions of dollars worth of crypto, including nearly $250 million in wrapped Bitcoin to FTX exchange while pausing withdrawals for all users. This is an issue. And we also did see even Blockworks report this. Celsius suspends withdrawals due to extreme wallet conditions. The lending platform said that the move is necessary to stabilize liquidity and operations. And recently, we just seen a major update. Celsius transferred about 3,500 wrapped Bitcoin, $89 million to FTX within the last hour and transferred about 50,000 Ethereum to FTX 3 hours ago. We also did see another update around this from Watcher Guru. Celsius reportedly transferred $320 million worth of crypto to FTX before announcing they would halt all trading and withdrawals on the platform. Again, they basically got out a ton of capital while pausing withdrawals and basically locking accounts in order for, customers to basically stay in and not be able to do anything. So right now, you have customers that have massive amounts of money locked in on Celsius and they cannot withdraw. This is an issue. And I also want to tell you guys that this is why I really, steer clear of all major exchanges within this market. I hold a lot of my tokens on a ledger. Now, I'm not trying to, say, hey, go buy a ledger. I'm just saying, I hold a lot of mine in cold storage because of these reasons. You can never trust liquidity on exchanges, especially in times of crypto sentiment, extremely changing to a volatile price action. Remember, crypto changes very quickly in this market. Now, again, with all of this in mind, we also did see our breaking Celsius, network has paused all withdrawal swaps and transfers between accounts due to extreme market conditions. This was at 12:04 today, right? Now, again, like I said, within this entire outlook, a lot of individuals are extremely, angry and frustrated with this. And of course, a few people say, not your keys, not your coins, which is exactly why I utilize a ledger. If you guys want to get a ledger, do not do any third-party sellers. Go to Ledger's website or utilize my link down in the comments below in the description below. I'm not sponsored by them or partnered with them. I just have an affiliate link. Again, I utilize Ledger. I trust them. I utilize them on a day-to-day basis. But again, I do completely agree with this statement. But also, a few other people are saying, what a garbage reason to suspend withdrawals. Market volatility should have no bearing on what somebody chooses to do with their own assets. And this is 100% it. When we talk about things happening around this is a liquidity crisis. This will most likely get a lot worse for the market. Remember what exactly happened with Luna. Luna crashed the market drastically. And, this is something very similar. Again, in terms of the market valuation that Celsius had and also the, prices or the assets under management that they have, it's over $20 billion. $20 billion assets under management, well less than $10 billion now probably, with no audit and a slew of false marketing claims, per the linked article. And this goes back to May 26th, by the way, and this is actually pretty interesting. So we look here, and this was their responses. When asked how Celsius outcompetes traditional finance, their answer often includes Banks are not your friends. Banks generate those yields, but they keep it all for themselves. We give back 80% of what we make back to the community. When I was a child, banks used to, also give you 10%. Now they have figured out that they don't need to. If you look at their earnings report, you will see that they also make 10% ROI per year. We are, the real Robin Hood, a classic Ponzi narrative. Followed by yet another response with over $20 billion in assets under management, you would expect that Celsius has been audited through fully by an auditor. This is not the case. Celsius only did a zero knowledge audit with a small crypto accounting startup called Horizon Labs. Their ZK audit limits itself to the publicity, available information on the blockchain. This means that at no time Horizon Labs went to ask Celsius any information on who their institutional borrowers were and could have verified their existence and credit worthiness. Again, this is the issue around a lot of these major networks in this market. You have these major networks that come out, right? Hold billions of dollars in assets under management, and they are not audited. There's no legitimacy factor behind them. This is also why I've always said, like, you need to truly look at why we want regulatory clarity around this space and regulations to be ushered in. This is issues. This is major problems around this space. Now, also, we did see Celsius has had $12 billion in customer assets across 1.7 million users. The Celsius unwind has sent Bitcoin from 30K to 25K. This is pretty big. Again, right now, as I make this video, let me refresh. Bitcoin is sitting at about 25.2K. We also do see Celsius, again, kind of sitting around 18 cents, continuing to drop a little bit in value. Might have a little bit of a spike up here and there, but for the most part, I do think that this is actually going to get a lot worse. And, a few people are also saying, like, the ugly truth is that Luna Celsius are just the weakest dominoes to unravel first, but far from the biggest or the last. There's an absolute dinosaur meteor when the market finally pushes Tether too hard. My greatest concern with DCAing soon is investing in the miss market pre-Tether collapse. Crypto has no business going up for its true adoption bull run again until Tether is addressed. In my opinion, we will most likely see Tether get targeted at some point in time. But I do think that, crypto will most likely have a relief rally before that does happen. Of course, that's my opinion. You do you. But we also do see here, don't forget, Tether has invested into the Celsius Ponzi scheme. If you have Tethers, you're exposed to the Celsius Ponzi blow up. Did you expect a company under US DOJ criminal investigation for, bank fraud to make prudent investments? Come on now. Don't be silly. And we actually do see here, in terms of Celsius at the time of this post, it was at about 16.5 cents. We also do see over here on the next slide, here's the company's network limited. This is basically their company's house, CS01. And this is received for filing in electronic format on 2/28/2022. And we also do see over here on the next slide full details of shareholders. And of course, you can see all of the shareholders that were basically invested in. You do see Tether sitting here at, there's two of them actually confirmed here. Pretty interesting. Honestly, when we talk about the aftermath of a lot of these, it is really rough for the entire market to kind of bounce back from something like this. Again, we really haven't, fully bounced back from the Tether, from the Luna situation. And if Tether does get targeted like that, it's going to be something interesting because this is also $72 billion of the market cap, right? So it is interesting when we look at things like this, but also the Celsius situation is yet again another reason why the liquidity on these networks is extremely flawed. You cannot have these incredible APY generating rewards and, we're going to give back to the community as much as possible. It's just, they usher you in, they bring you in with these extremely high APY, rewards. We've seen this with a lot of node generators, like for example, Strong and things like that, where it's extremely enticing to the retail investor because they think that, like, oh wow, these rewards are so sustainable, but they're really not. These rewards are extremely unsustainable. The liquidity is just not enough to, sustain the reward factor. And that's exactly what we are seeing here. It's a massive bank run, basically, on Celsius. And I do believe that this is most likely going to get worse as a lot of the FUD is continuously building up around Celsius. And it is interesting. And, again, we will continue to see things like this happen until regulations are ushered in, because a lot of these networks are not fully backed. A lot of these networks are also not, they don't have sustainability within their APY, entire infrastructure. So again, we do need a lot more, regulatory demands around these networks to really kind of look at, their assets under management and things like that. But also, again, similar to what I was talking about within this over here, these audits are extremely important, not only for, the network to continue to sustain, but it's also very important for you and me and every retail investor in the scene that is putting their money into these, assets. We've seen so many retail individuals get hurt in just the last, 2 months now, to the point where it's getting to the point where, like, we will see, regulatory demands continue to grow around this market. And I fear that we will get regulated because of, ushering in quick regulatory demands around this market to save, and I say save in quotation marks, retail individuals, but it's actually going to hurt us a lot more than what it will actually benefit us, because we will see most likely over regulatory clarity within this market, to the point where, the regulations that they usher in is just going to hurt and stifle innovation. But of course, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you guys. With that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, up to you all. Have a beautiful day or beautiful night, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.